Y'all remember a couple of weeks, this lawyer sounded so confident.
Yeah, you got it. Thank you. So we had a bond hearing today and a PC hearing today. I think that the relevant things that were said today that I thought were fascinating were that it took 3 months to build a case. And I think the reason for that was because the statements that were given on the evening that this occurred were very questionable. I think the way that the statements were made, what allegedly was witnessed and what wasn't witnessed, I think gave great pause to the FBI. The FBI doesn't take 3 months to arrest someone if they believe everything that was said on the night that it occurred. They were involved the first night and then nothing happened for 3 months. In addition to that I thought was quite embarrassing was that an FBI agent says they don't have the resources to keep their eye on an individual. This is allegedly an individual that committed a crime that they then didn't watch to see if the guns were present, if the jewelry was present. And what didn't we hear today? What we didn't hear today is there is no contract, this mystery contract. They have no contract. They have no video of this alleged signing of a contract. They have no guns. They have no jewelry. They have none of that physical evidence. What they have is they have allegedly 5 individuals, one of them being a very well-known individual that is allegedly cooperating with the government and making these allegations against my client and many more. I'm going to take like 1 or 2 questions and then we're going to scoot.
You're essentially arguing that not only a he said kind of case, no evidence.
Correct. Yeah, it's very fair. I think that this is it's a he said type of case. I mean, obviously there's 5 individuals on one side. What we're missing are the other people that were present in the room, right? The owner of the studio who says he didn't hear anything or see anything. The way they leave the studio where no one is in concert with anybody else, no one's arguing with anyone else. One of the individuals says, "Hey, can I get my watches back?" Like, the story is quite unusual. And I think that the FBI knew that. I think the investigators knew that it was unusual. And I think that's why it took so long to make the arrest.
What is your response to the judge saying that, your client still violated the terms of this ankle monitor location?
Sure, those are all things that are going to be, flushed out. The fact is that he was allowed to be in certain areas at certain times. That really wasn't an argument for today. I wasn't really even going to make that argument. My main thrust of today was to really push on the evidence and see exactly what they had and when they had.
Free cash, Seti Nash, QR code, or tap that link in the description. Listen, man, no more 5. They said they putting 10 in that account so you can start running it up, get, your rewards through gift cards and all that and everything like that, or directly to your account. That's Seti Nash, that's free cash, man. Hey, it's Taco Tuesday. They said we got 10 on it. Get the plan today. Check it out. Number 2 in the Apple Store. Number 3 in the Google Play Store for a reason. Read the reviews before you do. Free cash, Seti Nash, QR code, or tap that link into the description. Let's get it started.
How about this? How about the individual who wrote the complaint, who actually drafted the complaint, who was sitting in the courtroom, who's only been an FBI agent for 4 years, does not take the stand. They put someone else on to say what she wrote in her own complaint when she's sitting in the courtroom. And that's done quite often in gamesmanship, because they don't want to put a rookie on the stand and be measured by our legal team.
How far away is this from trial?
Oh, who knows? We're going to get discovery. We'll take a look at their discovery. They're going to say it's ongoing. I mean, think about it. They had 3 months to get this stuff. They had 3 months to get warrants. They didn't get warrants that night. They didn't get warrants the next night. They didn't get warrants the next month. They didn't get warrants the month after. They waited 3 months to get warrants on whether or not there's guns, whether or not there's jewelry. How about their cell phones? How about the computers? That gives me great pause when I see a case that takes that long to get warrants, if you believe everything that was said on the evening that it occurs.
Does the guy have a path out of jail?
Hold on, let me take one from her because she was trying last night.
Can you say anything about the identity of RD, and then you also spoke about a social media post he made?
Correct. So, listen, I don't like when the government puts initials in and everyone takes a guess who they are. We all know who they are, right? I'm not going to say it's this person or that person. That's not my job to do. But certainly there have been media posts of individuals that we suspect were involved in that evening where they're denying that it occurred, or they're denying that they're giving statements to the government. I think that's unusual as well, because of what the government put forward today seems to negate those statements, but we'll have to see how this all shakes out. Listen, guys, Sam and I have had many, many cases together, right? We just finished a case a couple of years ago in San Francisco on the Cash App murder case. And whenever I talk to individuals, whenever I talk to the media, I always say, this is not a a straight road. It's always a very winding road. So we never know where things are going to take us. We got to look at the evidence as it comes in, and we'll see what's there. I'm just shocked that, you know, when they say there might be video out there, they don't have it. There might be this mystery contract, they don't have it. Oh, they were at Staples, you know, making copies. It's just a total guess. So, like, we're not here to guess. I'm here to look at the evidence, to weigh the evidence, and to make the best decision based on that evidence.
What your client just stays in detention until what?
Yeah, currently he'll stay in detention. We'll get discovery. We'll start going through that. There's going to be several motions that we're going to file, obviously, in the next couple of weeks, but that'll all come out, and we'll give copies to everybody.
So did the feds even interview?
Look at my man.
Did the feds even interview any of the people yet? Any of the alleged victims?
So my understanding is the FBI has, over the past 3 or 4 months, has interviewed none of the alleged victims, and allegedly they all have future dates to give statements. But I have no idea if that's true. We're basing it on what the agent said on the stand, that each one of those witnesses from that evening is going to appear and give a statement to the federal authorities.
So RD never made a statement as of now?
Not to the FBI, but that evening it appears from the material that they produced and from the agent's testimony is that RD gave a statement that evening, but since that evening has not given another statement. But the FBI said in the future they're all scheduled to give statements, so we'll have to see. All right, thank you guys.
Well, turns out that ain't true. See, he just jumped on the internet and set the world on fire, and I know exactly why it is. Don't worry, we're going to get into it. Roll
All
it.
right, let's talk Pooh Shiesty. Quick update on Pooh Shiesty's case. I am just leaving Tennessee, actually, on a different federal case. But I will be withdrawing off the case. No implications of me withdrawing off the case. I still think it's a great case. I think there's a lot of holes in it. I think the government has a lot of explaining to do on the case. But I will be substituting in will be Dan Codgel, who's a fantastic lawyer, and Kent Schaefer, who's also a fantastic lawyer, both from Dallas. I think they're going to do a phenomenal job on the case. I think it's one of those cases where once you start really screwing down on the information, the facts, I think that a lot's going to be coming out that will be beneficial to the defense. I think they're going to do a great job, and I look forward to seeing how the case winds up.
Now, y'all know, man, the visionaries, you know, we got the visionaries that do the paperwork and stuff like that, and they were able to beat that drum and say, Nash, this is what we were able to pull up. So we're going to show y'all the paperwork, but there's something that's missing that's very telling. Check it out. In the United States District Court for the Northern District of Texas, Dallas Division, United States of America versus Latrell Williams Jr. Motion to substitute counsel to the Honorable Renee H. Tolliver, United States Magistrate Judge for the Northern District of Texas, Dallas Division, comes now. Latrell Williams Jr., defendant in the above entitled and numbered cause, and respectfully makes known to the court that the defendant desires to substitute Kent A. Schaefer of 101 McKinney Street, Suite 1600, Houston, Tejas 77002, Dan Cogdale, and J. Anthony Oso of 712 Miami, Suite number 2400, Houston, Texas 77002, as his counsel in place of Bradford Cohen of 1132 Southwest 3rd Avenue, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, in how you say his name? Zaganath? I think that's how you say it. Zangane of 14 Northeast 1st Avenue, Suite 300, Miami, Florida, in the above cause. This motion is not for the purpose of delay, but in order that the record reflect defendant's duly retained counsel of record and no injustice, prejudice, or obstruction of court procedure will be caused by the substitution. Wherefore, premises considered, the defendant prays that this honorable court will grant this motion in order that Kent A. Schaefer, Dan Codgel, and J. Anthony Oso be substituted for Bradford Cohen and Sam Zangane as defendant's attorneys of record in the above entitled and numbered cause. You can see respectfully submitted. Got all the lawyers' names, bar numbers, and all that stuff. Signed with permission. Then we go on. Certificate of conference. Counsel for defendant conferred with defense counsel Bradford Cohen concerning his position on defendant's motion to substitute counsel. Mr. Cohen stated that he and Sam Zangane are unopposed. Ken A. Schaefer, certificate of service. I hereby certify that on April 28, 2026, I electronically filed the foregoing motion with the clerk of the court for the United States District Court, Northern District of Texas. I hereby certify that I have served the motion on all counsel and / or parties of record. Ken Schaefer. Then it goes on to say, good news. In the United States District Court for the Northern District of Texas, Dallas Division, United States of America versus Latrell Williams Jr. Order. Defendant's motion to substitute counsel is hereby granted. Ken A. Schaefer and Dan Codgill are substituted as counsel for Latrell Williams Jr. Instead of Bradford signing in on this day, blank day of blank 2026. Renee H. Tolliver, United States Magistrate Judge. What I'm kind of curious is they didn't say Buddy from Miami is still on there or not, which I'm assuming that'll come out. And then Sam Zanganeh, his sheet basically isn't on there, but no disrespect to nobody. We don't give a shit about them. Just Bradford Cohen. Matter is, Pooh Shiesty ain't got the money. That's the reason for the crash out. See, Pooh Shiesty had took a publishing deal, and that publishing deal gave him some money, and Pooh thought to himself, oh shoot, we done robbed Gucci, man. We done got away with it. It's all bueno. No. It's all bad. See, remember, he bought the house, he did all this shit and everything, and took his little advance, and it's not little, of course, it was millions. Took his millions on his publishing and all that shit, and decided to expand and spend. And now you don't have money to fight for your lawyers. The little bit of money that he does have, gave that to the lawyers he does have. Now, those lawyers in Dallas, they are good lawyers. Not finna sit up here and bash them and kick them all over the head. But from what I'm hearing around there, times is cheaper than ramen noodles without the package. Ramen noodles, no package. That's what it's looking like right now. So Pooh Shiesty still does have a good legal team. They'll be able to get back and forth real quick. But for what Bradford Cohen is going to cost, we're talking about essentially making sure that you have hotel booking, that you have your first class flights, that you have all this. These lawyers cost a lot of money. Their traveling expenditures cost a lot of money. The way in which they do these things cost a lot of money. So what has to happen now? Shit. Pooh got to make sure Pooh do what he got to do. The case is bad. You better be looking for a plea deal. They put out something yesterday that I ain't seen shit on yet, so I'm not going to stamp it, where they said essentially, and I think this is going back to what Big 30's original lawyer, Art Horn, said essentially about, Big 30's involvement in this is very minimal at best. So we seen something where they tried to say, oh, Big 30 basically is telling the courts, I ain't even really do shit. You know what I'm saying? I was tying my shoe. I'm big as Eddie Nash, bruh. This we big ass dudes, bruh. I was blocking the door, but tying my shoe, I had nothing to do with it. No, you actually have a conspiracy charge by doing certain things, but we'll get into that later. But as it stands right now, Bradford Cohen's off the case. Pooh Shiesty still has his two lawyers. Money is tight, and that's what it is. A person like Bradford Cohen, who's braggadocious, who doesn't mind putting his name in headlines, who will jump on certain shows with big old audiences to further solidify his lawyer capabilities. That's what it is. So from what I'm hearing over there, it's the bread. Now, let me leave this caveat. It could just be because, too, Bradford Cohen got a lot of shit going on. And essentially, timelines don't mess up and all this shit. So he could be. Let me put this out there, too, because me and Bradford Cohen, we done talked. We done bumped fists before. It could be this. Bruh, I got a bunch of cases. I'm going to stall it. Y'all know my tactics. One of the tactics that he preaches is speedy trial. Let's get this shit. I don't believe the government has what the hell they say they have. So let's get this done because they won't have it by the time trial pops up. Now, he can say that and basically he wouldn't be wrong because technically that would be right. Let's do the speedy trial. Let's get this shit knocked the hell out because it's easier for us to exercise our amendment right to do these things. But from what I'm hearing, Pooh ain't got that goddamn feria But if I'm Bradford Cohen, I'm just saying, bro, listen, I'm not going to be able to help out to the best of my effective ability. But knowing Bradford Cohen, he ain't finna say shit else about this. All they going to do is say they don't have the case that they say they have and all this shit and boobity boobity blah blah blah. And that's how he should do it. But it's looking like they over there broke. You did bum-ass behavior to get out that contract. Now you doing bum-ass behavior for your lawyer's sake. Is it over for Pooh Shiesty? Hell yeah, it is. I'm not one of them that's about to sit up here and lie to y'all. Like I say, he better be hoping for a plea deal. Because if he don't get a plea deal, we talking about like maybe, hopefully you can get 9. Hopefully you can get a 9 ball, you know what I'm saying? And that'll be that. That's like graciously speaking, because you're facing a life sentence. But who knows? Y'all, let me know your thoughts on this one. Subscribe, turn on that bell to stay notified, and share to keep your people aware. We are 15K away from that goddamn giveaway, man. So make sure you are subscribed and commenting today. Please don't do what some of these freaking people do, where y'all sit up here, oh, I'm ready to get my head in the freaking box, bro. I'm ready to put my name in the hat and all that shit. Please don't do that bullshit, bro. Because at the end of the day, you know that you have to qualify. Comment on every video, like every video, but click right here to see how academics and Drake say they're going to take out Jay-Z. Click right here to find out all about that right there. Click right here or right here for the playlist, and I will catch y'all in the next one.